Hey everyone! So I have not done a Maya Minute in a little bit because I have been working on a special little project. As a lot of you know, I'm going to be graduating in a couple weeks, like in a month for real. And so I have had so many special moments in my room here in my dorm, especially on this pink couch. So the Lord and some friends gave me the idea to do a little special series called the Pink Couch podcast. So I have with me, what I'm going to be having is some of my favorite people who I've had on this pink couch, and I have had so many fruitful conversations, and the Lord has just met us in this over just to document and just to enjoy this space while I have it. So the very first guest that we have on the podcast are Ashlee and Jianna, my familia. So basically, backstory. Gianna came into, well, me and Ashlee always knew each other. In Delight, we met, we've led together, and Gianna came in and she was in my small group first, and then she joined Ashley's small groups. We had this ongoing joke that like I was like the mom and Ashley was like the stepmom because Gianna's younger than us. So yeah, that's why we're called the family, and this episode is called A Family of Worshipers. So we all are worship leaders. We all lead worship in different ways. So just wanted to ask, how did y'all get into worship leading? How did you get into worship? Like, what's your story? How did you meet the Lord? Like, quick little testimony, introduce yourself to the people, like, whatnot.
Okay, so I grew up in the church, and my parents always put me in choir and anything that was like arts based. Actually, fun fact, when I was like in my mom's womb before she knew that she was pregnant, I had a pastor. He's my godfather actually. And he basically like they met up, they were getting dinner, and it was her, my dad, and him, and he was like, "Oh, congratulations." And she was like, "What? For what?" And he was like, "Oh, like, you're gonna have a child, and like she's gonna be a singer." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So she went back home, and then she found out that she was pregnant. And so yeah, so my parents always just put me into like singing, but I was still a quiet child. I was very scared to like sing in front of people, and stuff like that. So I mean, I grew up in the church, but like singing in like church choir, I didn't really do. It was more so like just outside, like in my, I guess, state choirs. I would do competitions. And yeah, and then I think I took a break from singing for a while because I was like dealing with a lot of like comparison, and I just stopped telling people that I could sing. Like I would just be not say anything until I got to college, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like I need like artsy type of community because I was scared that I was gonna like lose that part of me because like I was a psych major. Well, I am a psych major. And then like I found like Maya, and like she was into like film, and then I knew she could sing, and I feel like that kind of like brought me back into like the space of like music and creativity. And yeah, and then there was a point like when I was like in my quiet time, and I really felt like the Lord was leading me to worship leading. And I was like, what? Like I don't even like singing in front of people. Like this is very scary for me still. But I just eventually like took a leap of faith, and the Lord just met me in that.
I was also born and raised in the church. My mom is a worship leader. So I feel like I've grown up around worship a lot, going to worship practices and like seeing what that's like. But I feel like I didn't know for me until recently because I don't know, I just never sang in front of anybody or played guitar or any instruments in front of anybody. So I was just like it's just a hobby for real. But then coming to the light and being felt led to join the worship team is where I felt like this is my calling, I guess, and just being led to just use my gifts and not hide them.
I want to harp on something here.
Bye.
Yeah, man.
So you talked about like comparison and how you kind of wrestled with that. How have you guys, as like growing in your like leadership in worship, how have you kind of like wrestled with comparison or like sought the Lord in those times where you felt like you were comparing yourself to other people?
I think for me, when it came to comparison, it was definitely a difficult battle because it caused me to like stop singing. Like even in like my own room, like I stopped singing like by myself, which was something that I used to do, but I was like I couldn't stand the sound of like my voice. And I also think it was like the music that I was listening to that I was like comparing myself to. But I think what helped me, I don't know. I feel like growing closer to the Lord, like I really realized, kind of like what you were saying, like to stop like hiding my gift. And I also realized that like not everybody's voice is going to be the same. And like the Lord gave you that voice and he wants you to use it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like seeking the Lord to help me to not really like fix my eyes on people when it came to singing, but like more on him because I'm supposed to be worshiping him.
I've experienced comparison as well. But then it's just like realizing that it's not my voice that causes people to encounter God, but the Holy Spirit that's moving through my voice. And yeah, like she said, everybody's unique. Just the way that we sing or the way we flow or just the way God uses us when we're doing worship.
Can you explain like what flowing means for the audience viewers that might not know what that is?
Yeah,
Ooh, that's
flowing is basically when you derive from a set list because the Holy Spirit just causes you to feel led to go somewhere else. And basically, you're just flowing. It could be words or songs, basically, that the Holy Spirit gives you.
Yeah.
That's good. And that just takes me to this verse that I want to read.
Read it.
Which is in John 4, verse 23. Yet a time is coming and has now come when true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the Spirit and in truth. And so, with that being said, how have you, in the midst of like flowing, in the midst of like being on, I don't want to say platforms, but like being on stage and stuff, how have you allowed the spirit to lead your worship? And how have you been able to worship in spirit and in truth?
Something that I always pray before I get on that stage is literally like, Lord, like don't let my worship be from my spirit and not from my flesh, because I feel like it's so easy to like get on a platform and be like, oh, I'm gonna perform, or I want to like hit the right notes, or I want to like do this run or whatever, and it's like that is literally your flesh. Like you just want people to like applaud you for that. Like no, we should be applauding the Lord. And so I just feel like, yeah, just really dying to that flesh. Like you have to put that aside, especially like with worship. Like ushering people into worship should be spirit led. And like even when we talk about like flowing, like I never want to like flow like, oh, because I think this will be good, but it's like generally like having the ears to hear what the Holy Spirit is like telling me to sing. There's been moments like in worship where I literally feel like, oh, the angels are singing with us right now, and I hear this, and I start singing. Like I will literally start hearing it, and I'm like, oh, this is heaven, and I'll start singing it out. And so it's like it's not even part of our set list. It's nothing, but it's like what I'm actually hearing, like that's happening in heaven, which is like you can't get that if you're not in like your quiet time, if you don't have an intimate relationship with the Lord. So like what we're saying may sound like crazy, but like it really comes from like intimacy with the Lord, and you'll be able to like distinguish like these things. Like the Lord will really reveal a lot of things. So yeah.
And that's so good too, because that goes off of like what we've talked about before, of like the importance of being in the secret place.
Yes.
And that just goes for like, I know we're talking about worship leading, but that goes for any ministry like elements at all, and even just being a believer in general, like the importance of being in the secret place and getting filled up yourself, because as soon as you step out of that door, as soon as you step out of that secret place, you are representing Christ.
Literally.
So it's like when you're in a position where you're like leading worship, where you're pouring into people, you have to make sure that like you're in the secret place, because like your worship in person, or not in person, like your worship in front of others is the overflow of what the Lord has been giving you personally.
Yeah.
You know? So that's good. I know we've had conversations before just about playing an instrument and also singing, because me and Ashlee, we just sing. I mean, I dibble and dabble on the piano just a little bit. Just I don't really got. I'm just saying stuff like. But how have you been able to like navigate like instrument playing to like leading, singing, all those things?
I think it's definitely, it can be difficult to play an instrument and sing, but I don't really be singing for real. Like I now, okay, nowadays I do, but like I started off with just instruments, so I feel like that caused or allowed me to learn how to flow with just my guitar, I guess, and just how I can just kind of suggest a song to you guys through my guitar without like having to really verbally say it. And so I think navigating voice as well has been a little bit difficult, because the balance between singing and playing an instrument can be a bit difficult, just like logistically. But I think that I don't know. I think Holy Spirit is very just kind with the way that He speaks to me, and just gave me the ability to, como se dice, um, uh, have good coordination to be able to do both at the same time.
I wanted to also talk about our personalities because we have like different personalities, all of us, which is so fun. I'm definitely more of an extroverted person, so how as introverts have you guys been able to like navigate not just worship leading but like navigate your calling and what the Lord has like led you to do, but you're also like introverted?
Okay, I think for me recently, it's definitely been. I feel like the Lord has really shook me up, specifically in my prayer life. I think that I've really tapped into more like authority and power from the Lord, and like acknowledging that He has given me these things and allowing me to be more bold in my faith in the way that I lead worship or lead prayer. So that's been like really great, like literally only the Lord. When it comes to like socializing with people in like ministry spaces, I feel like I'm still working on that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of time, like, sometimes if I don't know people, like, it can be very daunting to just, like, walk up to somebody you don't know. And it's like, so I feel like I'm still working on that. But with people that I do know or that I'm getting to know, I feel like it's easier to just be like, oh, hey, girl, like, haven't seen you in a long time. Da da da, and just chopping it up. I feel like even Delight has, like, pushed me out of my comfort zone to, like, talk to people. But I feel like sometimes it still gets scary to like talk to like new girls. Like the most they'll probably get is like, "Oh hey, welcome." Like, "Oh hi,
right.
what's your name?" And then it's like we exchange names, and then it's like, "Okay, what now?"
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to say. But yeah, so yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
I think for me it's different because I'm not a leader. It's a lot easier for me to just be in the corner. I don't really have to do all that you guys do. But when it comes to like worship leading and playing in the worship nights, it's simpler for, well, I think the first time I ever played, I was nervous because it was my first time playing in front of people. But then as I went on, it's just like, oh, it became normal. But then also, I feel like also because I'm not singing, like I'm just playing, so I feel like the focus isn't really on me. But then as I started branching out and started to sing, like it still didn't really affect me, I guess. Like it didn't really phase me, just because I don't know, I don't know, I just felt at peace. But also I pray this prayer before I go where it's like, make me invisible and like don't let them see me, like let them see you in me, so it feels like I'm not the one that's being seen, I guess, when I'm singing, so it doesn't really make me nervous.
Can we talk about that? Like how how has like what have you learned about humility in leading worship? Because the little background story on my worship leading definitely came into, like you guys were saying, like grew up in the church, like grew up in like a singing space and just like in a singing family. But I feel like now I feel like I know that I had a lot of pride in my worship and a lot of looking at me and like literally seeking compliments from people and seeking like validation from others when I would hit a certain run during service or things of that nature, before I came to the Lord. And so how have you guys learned about humility and just like you were saying, like dying to yourself in leading worship?
Honestly, it's so funny because I was talking about this today. How like how do I say this? Like when I first started leading, it was like the Lord knew I was the humblest of the humble because I was like already terrified to like be up on a stage, having to lead worship. Like like everything I was doing was literally out of faith, and it was like, Lord, like I feel like I shouldn't even be doing this, da, da, da. And I felt like, yeah, like I was humble, but I think also part of me, like there was also pride because it was like, oh, what will people think? Like, what if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? And I started like fixing my eyes on myself instead of the Lord. And so he really had to check me about that. But I feel like when it came to like pride with like getting up on a stage and like performing and wanting compliments, I don't know. Like I feel like I'd be in my head way too much to be like thinking like, oh, is people gonna like this? I think the most I'd be thinking about is like, oh, what if I like sing the wrong like lyric or like that type of stuff instead of like, oh, people like complimenting me. Because I feel like I was already in my head about like, oh, I don't know if this is what I should be doing because I'm like second guessing what the Lord has for me.
Well, man, I've definitely experienced pride in like worship leading, where it's just like like they finna eat this up.
That's so real though. Like,
they're
can
gonna
we
love
get like
this.
we get real on the pink couch, bruh? Like, ain't no
Yeah.
lies
Literally,
here. Like, there's
they
no
finna
lies
love
here, bruh.
this.
Yeah.
And then just like I don't know, like fishing for compliments, I guess after, and then feeling away if I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then I think just realizing, I think for me, something that hit hard for me was like remembering what the Lord gives, the Lord could take away. And so it's like if I'm boasting in the gifts that I have, it's like I didn't even give them myself. It's the Lord who gave it to me. And so if I'm like boasting in this, like not in a good way, then it's like, bro, he could easily just snatch it like that and I'm left with nothing. So I think remembering that has been really humbling for me.
Yeah, that's so good. Like you're saying, reminding yourself that the gift comes from him ultimately.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I was thinking, I was like, Lord, I can't even breathe without you. Like, I literally cannot even breathe without you. So why would I think that like I'm worthy of all these compliments and all these things? Like, and like you were saying before about, I think it's so like crazy how the Lord will place you in positions of humility, like to make sure that only he will get the glory. Only he will get the glory, like at the end of the day. Like,
wait, hold on. Wait,
Yeah.
yes. Because no, I had to grab the mic.
Yeah.
Because yes, the fact that like it's like, Lord, I don't even want to be up here. Like, this is only for you. And it's like I could only be humble, like, because I cannot be up here without him.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I'm even up here is because of you.
Yeah.
So it's like that keeps me humble.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
literally keeps me humble
Yeah.
to like literally not run off that stage. Like, hello?
How, just speaking on like not just in a leadership setting, but just like your own personal worship, how have you been able to navigate like worship being more than just an emotional moment or more than just a feeling? Or like, how have you been able to like use your life as worship?
I feel like for me, it's been like realizing that God is really a person, I think. And I feel like that really helps me from limiting him to a feeling. Yeah, and I feel like just looking at him as a person and wanting to become like more like him and know him on a deeper level and just live life as he would or like as he'd want me to is just kind of how I think I live or I experience or exude worship.
Yeah.
In a way besides like actual worship where it's like an atmosphere of like a tangible,
Right.
you know,
Right.
feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like different than just being like, oh, I'm gonna get up on the stage and sing and like, and then we move and then we just continue on with our regular life. But I think like being a representation of like Christ is like an act of worship. Like everything we do should be worship unto God or honoring to God.
Yeah. Well, as we end out the first episode of the pod, I wanted to ask, what advice would you give to someone who is stepping into a new season or a new calling of their life, not just worship leading, but just in general? Like, what advice would you give to that person?
Say yes.
We could just say right there.
Gee.
We could just stay right there.
Well, yes.
We can wrap it up. We can
Well,
wrap it up
yes.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Just say we.
All right.
Just say
Just
we.
say yes.
Just say see.
When you feel like he's calling you, just be obedient.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Just walk in that. Because,
Walk
I
in
mean, we were just talking about, like, man, when we said yes to ministry, we had no idea
Had
what we
no
were getting.
idea.
No idea.
Girl.
But the Lord used that small yes.
Yeah, he did.
And continues to use us in that. And that's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the Pink Couch Pod. And we'll see you guys next week for our next special guest. Bye.